Welcome back to another Backpage Gaming video. Today we are taking you through some of the best tactics and player instructions that we've used so far. I'm joined by Rob.
Hello there, everyone.
And me and Rob have both qualified for champs. We are ready to get our sweatbands on. We're ready to take on the best of the best. We've used very similar tactics. Rob, what formation are we taking them through today?
So it's a bit of a niche one. I've seen a lot of people saying they like the wides, but me and Jack are narrow little boys with skinny little boys. So it's the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow Jack. It's a favourite from last year as well.
Yeah.
And we're both loving it. So yeah, let's go through it, I suppose.
So we'll dive into the tactics straight away. We know what you're here for.
Yeah.
We're not gonna make you wait.
No.
I will say, by the way, don't always copy these. Maybe copy them for the first game.
Yeah.
And then tweak them, like Rob says. Yeah. There's always a bit of leeway into what you might like and what you might not like about our formation.
Yeah.
So defensive style is press after possession loss. Rob, I don't know how much you agree, but this year pressing is really effective.
It is. It's so good to just win the ball back early and sort of like stage a counter attack. It's so good. I switch between balance and press after possession loss, depends how I'm feeling, sort of thing. Again, it's one of those you can change in game. If you've got the lead, maybe 2 or 3 goals up, maybe switch it to like a balanced, but keep the depth up.
I can see that definitely. I think having the high depth and having this defensive style, it definitely makes you like you're the one on the offense. Like you're chasing them a bit more, which I like.
Yeah.
And we kept it 50. I think when you're playing a 4-back, there's no reason to change that. To be honest with you, you don't want to go narrow and you don't want to go too wide, otherwise you end up being a massive hole in the middle.
Yeah, I agree. I use 50 as well.
65 depth. You don't want to go too high. This year, like Rob says, it's quite easy to get countered.
Yeah, very.
So you don't want to invite the pressure. I think this, obviously, with everyone's centre backs not being too cracked pace wise.
Yeah.
You don't want to give them too much distance to cover, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I go for 70 on that. I mean, it's very similar, isn't it? So I don't think it lives
dangerously.
Rob. Yeah. Living on the edge.
So this year, lads, there's quite a few different offensive settings. There's loads. There's all those, and then you've got all these different ones. So I've gone for balanced simply because I think that kind of, if it makes sense, it's you that is controlling them.
You sort
more.
of dictate it more, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want players to like do mad runs that I don't want them to do.
Exactly, yeah.
I did go for direct passing though. Out of the others, possession is also quite good. If anyone's used it,
I use possession rather than direct passing. What is the difference as far as you're aware?
For me, I think direct passing, I find that my strikers take up better positions.
Okay.
That's the main thing that I like about it. I don't think there's anything too wildly different, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's. But I think if you go on.
So according to the description, that's best for like sort of getting in behind a little bit. So like holding the ball up, then playing like a neat pass in behind. What was it?
Yeah, whereas possession, they rarely do that.
Oh right, okay, yeah, and it's more like finding space rather than sort of penetrating. That makes sense.
What's Rob doing?
Sounds a bit sus.
Yeah. So width, I've gone for 70. Now this is a bit higher, simply due to the fact that 4-1-2-1-2 narrow.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, is narrow.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you get, those 2 centimetres. You want them to be covering. So say you against like a 4-3-3, you want them to be covering those outside players. And maybe helping and chipping in with defending against the wingers.
Yeah. I
genuinely, I've set on these tactics quite early, so I've played with them for at least about 30 games.
Yeah.
I'm sold on them.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I genuinely don't see a reason to change.
There's nothing glaringly obvious that I'm like, this is an issue. Like, obviously we've both qualified for champs, so they're doing pretty good. I'd say we're good players, but it's not easy to qualify.
It's the start of the game.
Yeah. I think they're pretty solid. They've got us this far, haven't they?
Yeah.
No reason to complain.
5 for players in the box.
Yeah.
I like that because your 2 centre-mids, while they are box-to-box ones ideally, they do find themselves in the attacking position, especially like players like Bruno or KDB would be really good for that.
Yeah.
We'll quickly go over the type of players you want. Believe it or not, you want fast defense.
Yeah, agree.
Crazy concept. CDM, I think you can get away with something that's a bit slower this year.
Someone that will just sort of sit, sit in front of the back four.
Just kind of just be a bit boring for you, really. Kessie has been really impressive. I've really, really liked Kessie.
Yeah.
Probably my best CDM I've used so far, to be honest with you. Barella is in form, and Bruno make a wonderful partnership. They're up and down the pitch. You want those two. I'd say these two centre mid positions are two of the most important. In this team, simply because they are everywhere. Everything goes through them. The transition from defense to attack, it's really important.
They need to have like a high stamina, decent defending. I'd say like 60 to 70. Defending. Yeah, and then good attacking, good pace as well.
Yeah, it's quite demanding.
It is. Yeah.
If you're going to spend money, this is probably the two of the positions that I'd do. Speaking of one that I'd spend money on is the cam. Dybala. If you'll look out for the channel in the next few days, we'll be having a Dybala review come out. The best value attacker on FIFA right now.
100%.
You want something that can dictate the play. Like we say in the review, something that's just got sick passing and good dribbling and can get out of a tight spot. These strikers, I don't think, Rob, you need like the world's best strikers in this formation simply because you make so many chances anyway. Yeah. Would you agree?
Agree, yeah. Again, it's like, we said it last year, if you watched any of those custom tactics, the front three are sort of interchangeable in a way. So if sort of like your strikers can hold it up for your cam to run in behind and whatnot, I think it's just fantastic. You want someone with pace, really. I've not tried a slow striker yet, but for the way I play particularly, I do like having someone with a little bit of pace to get in behind, particularly coming up against like your Varans and your Lacroix and stuff like that.
It's becoming quite more common as well, especially if you're in the Champions playoffs. They are quite sweaty.
Yes, very.
Instructions. So this is one thing where I don't really do anything different. I'm on getting behind and stay forward for the two strikers.
Yeah.
I have played around with stay central on them.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I kind of like them when they drift out wide. So if you think of, say Rashford for this example, he drifts out wide to take the ball from Barella, and Dybala kind of occupies his space.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the direct passing tactic, and it's kind of the reason why I like it so much. They're always trying to make a chance and linking up. It is really wonderful. Like Rob says, they're kind of interchangeable. They're all pretty good.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, Rob, this might be the most creative custom tactic ever.
Just stay
Cam
forward.
is on stay forward.
It's what we always have our cams on every year. I don't think we ever change it. They're just
There's
chilling
nothing else
there,
to do. Yeah.
You don't want them to drop back and help the defense too much. You want them there, ready for the counter.
Yeah.
Just get them on
to
stay
link
forward,
up the play, don't you?
Yeah,
100%, your two outside centre mids are the boys that do the work.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I actually keep these and I don't change these at all.
I don't change those either now.
You definitely want them on cover wing.
Yeah.
Don't fall into the trap of putting them on cover centre because
that's your CDM's
you need them
job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need them to be out there helping your fullbacks.
Yeah.
I think if you're a bit more of a confident player,
get one.
You could maybe put this on get into the box for crosses.
Yeah.
And you're more attacking one, like Bruno there for me would be getting to the box.
Yeah.
He will just you'll find a few more goals that way.
Yeah.
But
for me,
I don't think
I find you can just sort of use like the LB like to trigger runs if you want to get in behind and stuff like that. I find that's just the easiest way. Rather than having them on a set instruction, because sometimes you want them to sit, you don't want them bombing all the time. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
CDM, another one, lads. Stay back and cover centre.
Yep.
Last year, cut passing lanes was pretty good. I can't say I've messed about with. I've tried man mark a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was that useful, and I found that they just ended up having lower stamina.
Yeah.
And I didn't really notice the difference. I've kept them on balance this time. You just want somebody that sits there that will just. He's just tank Kessie, and he does his job really well, and I think that's all you need. Your fullbacks stay back. Now, overlap is a really popular one. I know a lot of pros run it.
Yeah.
I think if you're not like a really good player, don't use it.
Stay back, yeah.
Just keep them on stay back and mixed attack.
Yeah, I think with your centre mids and your cam and your strikers, you're not going to need any help in the attack from your fullbacks, really. Particularly at this stage of the game, there's not really any fullbacks that have insane attacking stats. I think just keep him on stick.
I'll dispute that. I've got Mr. Quadrado, but
I mean, yeah, he's an exception, isn't he? Really,
he's the exception, not the rule. Yeah. Altogether, though, you want a balanced team, and I think if you're looking for a balanced team, the Serie A really does provide that.
It's so cheap. It's ridiculous.
Very cheap.
Yeah.
You can see this team; they're all incredibly cheap. Like, look at that back line. For one of the best, you're laughing, aren't you?
It's crazy.
Look at that record with Rashford. That's how good these tactics are, lads. You get like 260 contributions in 35 games. But altogether, Rob, I don't think there's much more that we need to say on the formation. I
don't know. Yeah.
The only con could be that sometimes you don't have enough width. If you're against a player that drops back a lot, go on your D-pad tactics and put attacking fullbacks on.
Yeah.
You can turn that off and on really easily, and it gives you that kind of like that freedom to get that extra man running past. So that's my only criticism, Rob, of the formation. What about you, mate?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I think maybe if you don't have the attacking wide centre mids, you could struggle creatively. You know, you don't want to be too one-dimensional going up top. You need those centre mids to sort of play their part in opening up the defence. Using them as like a wide player at times. Obviously, Barella and Bruno perfect for that. Very good passing and good dribbling. Don't
be afraid to spend some money on them.
Yeah, you don't want to be going out and buying 3 players that are like a CDM. You don't want like Kessie, Musa Sissoko, and then like Zakaria or something like that. You do want the creativeness, so don't sort of be stingy on that. Like Jack said, very important. I think that's about it really. I don't really think there's a con, to be honest. I think if you are just sticking with the 4-3-3 and you're sort of struggling a little bit, give it a go, give it a try.
Definitely, you will score more goals.
Yeah,
definitely, it's the best attacking formation in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. It's very good for like a tick attacker, I find.
Yeah, definitely. Which I think FIFA 22 lends itself to quite well.
Yeah.
But they've been the tactics, lads. I hope you've enjoyed them. Let us know what you've been using in the comments down below. Let us know if you've qualified for champs. I know it's quite a sweat fest at the minute. I know a lot of us are doing it.
Yeah,
Rob did it last night. I did it the night before. I'm sure we'll be getting plenty more practicing before the weekend league starts. Anyway, leave a like, drop a sub. I've been Jack.
I've been Robbie.
And we've been Backpage Gaming. We'll see you in the next one.
See you later.